I've been reading the articles that you've been posting on like LinkedIn and your social media and your newsletter and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And the one thing that I really liked was you talked about instead of focusing on like learning from your wins, you focus on high effort, high improvement. You talked a little bit about that before. How are you like ingraining that philosophy in these kids' heads? Obviously, in the practice room, you want them to be aggressive, put themselves out there, set those metrics up for themselves. They're going for those attacks. But how are you allowing them or helping them find those improvements or like self-critiquing themselves so they could actually advance through the sport faster?
Yeah. And this is kind of where I push. I think what we try to do with our club is we try to figure out all aspects that we think these kids need work on to do well. So we have technique, we have mindset, we have strength, we have nutrition, and we give them help on all those areas. We give nutrition information, we give them weightlifting, regimens, we have technique videos. So first of all, we have the resources for them to make the improvements. Now, how do they self-reflect, like you said? Or how do we help them to realize that that's what they need to do? Video review has been big this year. So I've been saying, like, send me your videos. I get a lot of these kids' videos. I screen record myself going, hey, look at this shot. This is a great shot. Do it more. Hey, you're having an issue with here. Do it more. Also, during the practices, I always say, like, you guys need to take control of your own technique, of your own, of getting better yourself. You need to, and this is like, as a coach, I realize it more now. It's the athlete's job to come to the coach and ask for help. Hey, I'm struggling in these positions. I'm struggling here. Hey, I need help with cutting weight. I have the resources, but I don't know what they need. I don't know what each person needs. I will if I watch a match, obviously. Hey, obviously I give feedback with that. Or I see like, or I wrestle them and I'm like, dude, you're weak. I know you need help with that. You get some protein shakes in. But there's a balance. Well, I'm gonna do my best effort to try to read and figure out what the kid needs. Of course, I'm texting the kid, hey, what do you need help on? I'm trying my best. But I need from the athlete as well to be self-reflecting, like you said, and telling and asking me what they need help with, showing me where they had issues with, showing where they need help, maybe with cutting weight, maybe with strength training, maybe with getting to sleep, whatever the scenario might be. So I have like a conversation like I'm having right now in front of the whole group like that to help them to realize. So I'm like, hey, you guys, just remind them again, like, listen, this is your wrestling at the end of the day. You guys control yourself. I'm here. I've got the resources. I can help you in any way you need it. I can stay after. I can send you videos. I can send you articles on specific things. But at the end of the day, I need you guys to let me know. So that's kind of, I think having like these repetitive talks, hopefully kind of get through to the kids. And I think a lot of times I've got to figure out for myself what are the most important things that Iron Faith needs to focus on to like reiterate to these kids because there's certain things that you want these kids to there's so many things you want the kids to learn, right? Like be aggressive. I want them to be aggressive. I want them to reflect on their own technique. I want them to do extra, I want them to have their nutrition dialed in. I want them to not care about winning or losing. And a lot of it is you just got to keep talking. You got to keep telling them, these kids, those topics. Like you got to tell them those beliefs again and again. And a lot of times it's one-on-one conversations. Recently I had a one-on-one conversation with one of my wrestlers who was saying, my goal is to place at states. And this is another thing connected to the goals. So he's like, my goal is to place top 3 at states. And I said, all right, well, the top 3 kids in the state are probably going to have a chance at winning New England's as well. And they have a chance at maybe even winning nationals. So why are you setting something so low? Like, why is your goal top 3 in the state when it could be just as hard to place at nationals? Like I'm sure you have kids in New Jersey, maybe not even place or take like 6 and go and win Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
I've probably seen that before. So I'm essentially like, because you're right, like the goals are kind of it's a weird thing to think about setting the goals. But the one thing you did say is they need to do the work. And what I said to the kid was, if your goal was instead of being top 3 in the States, it was to win a national title, would you train differently? And I think for then, that kid was like, oh, of course I would. My goal is to win nationals this year. I'm going to train a lot differently than if my goal was to win or place at states. And that clicked for him. So having those one-on-one conversations, I'm sure you've had one-on-one conversation with coaches or another teammate that made things click for you. So some of it's group stuff. I think a lot of a lot of the one-on-one talks make bigger differences, but it's hard to talk to everybody, obviously, especially if I want like, I don't know, 100,000 members, you know what I mean, across the country. So I'm sure at some point it won't be me talking to all of them.